Since 7 denotes fullness, and more importantly, manifestation, it's to our advantage to consider the 7th of each of our 6 important 7s in Revelation. These 6 important 7s are: 1. The 7 stars or angels. 2. The 7 golden lampstands or churches. 3. The 7 prophecies to the churches. 4. The 7 sealed scroll in the Father's right hand. 5. The 7 trumpets. And 6. The 7 bowls. There are, of course, other 7s to be found in Revelation, but in light of the overall content and descriptions of John's visions, these 6 are the most prominent. This being the case, I don't think it's a coincidence that 6 times 7 is 42, bringing us to the following. But leave out the court which is outside the temple, and do not measure it, for it has been given to the Gentiles. They will tread the holy city underfoot for 42 months. And he was given a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and he was given authority to continue for 42 months. The first thing to recognize regarding the 42 months is that they both address the same thing, just from a different perspective. In other words, the authority of the beast for 42 months is synonymous with the treading down of the holy city for 42 months. The first speaks of what is trampled, while the second, what does the trampling. Right away, this gives us the overall purpose of the 42 months. What is this purpose? Righteous judgment. For the authority to trample the holy city is given by Christ and his apostles, since they are currently reigning and executing judgment in accordance with the Father's will. It should also be noted that the 42 months is not a literal time span, but encapsulates the prophetic essence of the 6 important 7s that we are now considering. Now, when we define the 7 angels or spirits with Isaiah 11, we find that the 7th star or angel is the manifestation of the spirit of righteous judgment, agreeing with the purpose of the 42 months. The 7th lampstand or church and its prophecy also reveal the need for this righteous judgment. As we learned in the previous study, the 7th church is the lukewarm church, Laodicea. Now, let's go to the 7th seal. And when he had opened the 7th seal, there was silence in heaven about the space of half an hour. And I saw the 7 angels which stood before God, and to them were given 7 trumpets. And another angel came and stood at the altar, having a golden censer. And there was given unto him much incense, that he should offer it with the prayers of all saints upon the golden altar which was before the throne. And the smoke of the incense, which came with the prayers of the saints, ascended up before God out of the angel's hand. And the angel took the censer, filled it with fire of the altar, and cast it into the earth. And there were voices, and thunderings, lightnings, and an earthquake. And the 7 angels which had the 7 trumpets prepared themselves to sound. When the 7th seal is opened, there is silence in heaven about the space of half an hour. Half an hour is an hour divided, so it denotes a dividing of time. This dividing of time speaks of the separation of day and night, or light and darkness, accomplished by, you guessed it, the process of his righteous judgment. In agreement, we see an angel standing at the altar, having a golden censer, who is given much incense, offered with the prayers of all the saints upon the golden altar which was before the throne. The smoke of the incense, along with the prayers of the saints, ascends up before God out of the angel's hand. And the result of these prayers and incense, the angel takes the censer and fills it with fire of the altar and casts it into the earth. What follows? Voices, thundering, lightning, and an earthquake. Now, here's what we see at the sounding of the 7th trumpet. And the temple of God was opened in heaven, and there was seen in his temple the ark of his testament. And there were lightnings, and voices, and thunderings, and an earthquake, and great hail. Here's the 7th vial or bowl. And the seventh angel poured out his vial into the air, and there came a great voice out of the temple of heaven from the throne, saying, "It is done." And there were voices, and thunders, and lightnings, and there was a great earthquake, such as was not since men were upon the earth, so mighty an earthquake, and so great. There fell upon men a great hail out of heaven, every stone about the weight of a talent. And men blasphemed God because of the plague of the hail. The plague thereof was exceeding great. What does the seventh seal have in common with the seventh trumpet and bowl? Though in a different order, it's the voices, thundering, lightning, and an earthquake. What does the seventh trumpet and bowl also show? Great hail, causing men to blaspheme God. Is the lightning, thunder, voices, and earthquake of the seventh seal the same as those in the seventh trumpet and bowl? Yes. Is the great hail in the seventh trumpet the same as that in the seventh bowl? Yes. What does the lightning, thunder, voices, earthquake, and great hail signify? The answer begins with the seventh seal. And the smoke of the incense, which came with the prayers of the saints, ascended up before God out of the angel's hand. The angel took the censer, filled it with fire of the altar, and cast it into the earth. And there were voices, and thunderings, and lightnings, and an earthquake. The lightning, thunder, voices, and earthquake are a result of the fire of the altar being cast into the earth. The fire of the altar leads us to the fifth seal. When he had opened the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of God and for the testimony which they held. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, "How long, O Lord, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth?" The altar in the fifth seal refers to the brazen altar or altar of sacrifice in the tabernacle of Moses. The altar in the seventh seal refers to the golden altar of incense in the holy place of the temple of the tabernacle. Both are types, pointing to our consideration of the antitypes. Vincent's Word Studies tells us the officiating priest in the tabernacle or temple took the fire for his censer from the brazen altar, and then offered the incense upon the golden altar of incense. So the altar of incense is connected to the brazen altar by means of the fire of the altar. The prayers of the saints in the seventh seal are defined by the loud voice of the fifth seal, the voice that cries for judgment and vengeance. Judgment and vengeance? Yes. Dear brother and sister, the fire of the altar signifies and agrees with the righteous judgment proceeding from the throne of God, due to the prayers of those who laid down their lives for the gospel in the days of the early church. This also aligns with the understanding of half an hour or dividing of time. More to come, so be sure to join me in the next study as we continue our investigation of the lightning, thunder, voices, earthquake, and great hail.